Welcome to the GOTA virtual conference. Scan the QR code on the left to participate in our silent auction. The silent auction will run from October 1st to October 29th of 2020. Scan the QR code on the right to go to the GOTA online store. Thank you to our 2020 sponsors. Platinum level sponsor, the Shepherd Center. Gold level sponsors, All About Kids Therapy Services in the University of St. Augustine. And silver level sponsor, Hanger Clinic.
Shepherd Center specializes in medical treatment, research, and rehabilitation for people with spinal cord and brain injury.
We see 400 individuals with brain injury a year. We see over 350 individuals with spinal cord injury a year. Our staff have the expertise, we have the knowledge, and our outcomes exceed national averages.
Essential Therapy Services is a pediatric therapy practice located in North Georgia. We provide quality occupational, physical, and speech therapy services to children ages 0 to 21 years. Our collaborative team of therapists work with children and families in the clinic, home, and natural environments to facilitate success and independence for children in all environments. We have locations conveniently located just off of Highway 400 in Cumming, Georgia, and just off of Highway 365 in Lula, Georgia.
To register for the GOTA conference, head to our homepage. Go to the Annual Conference tab and click here to register. After logging in, register for the courses you'd like to attend. You'll receive an email with an invoice of all the sessions you registered for. This email will contain a link to follow to attend your courses. Once you click on the link, this takes you to our conference homepage. To access your course, click on the Details tab of the course you are going to. For pre-recorded sessions, select the URL, which will bring you to the session. Make sure to log in. All sessions contain content from your presenters
Malice, and I'm an occupational
and the course
therapy
hyperlink.
student
Pre-recorded
at Georgia
sessions are
State
hosted via
University.
YouTube. After viewing your session, log back into the conference website to complete the course eval. After completing a few short questions, the conference webpage will email you your continuing education certificate. Be sure to check your spam or promotion tab for this certificate. If you require accommodations, make sure to check out our tip sheet from our website. The tip sheet also contains our Zoom backgrounds.
So registration is going to continue through the month of October. So until October 29th, you can register for the conference. The courses, they're going to be available until December 31st this year. So you can see them in their recorded phase then. I'd like to introduce Irma Alvarado, our other co-chair.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first 2020 GOTA virtual conference and business meeting. Well, like everyone else, April, when we had to make a decision to go virtual, we just started. And I would like to take this opportunity, along with Amy, to say a heartfelt thank you. Anyway, I don't want to get all emotional here, but you're going to see some names on the slides of the business meeting, but I'd like to start with the conference committee and all of you members who submitted these great proposals, and then all the proposal reviewers, and then the vendor committee and sponsors, and of course the members, of which we now have, I think, 49 people on. So you will hear, the program is just full of expert sessions from therapists on practice, fieldwork, research, initiatives, refugee. There's something for everyone. And I can see people are using the chat box already. And as Kristen said, and Tiffany, you all can just chat with them, or because they're on. And if you have any questions, or email info@gota.com. And this is the virtual background that we'd love for you all to, it's available on the tip sheet to download and put on your Zoom meetings. I think I've got everything that I wanted to say, other than don't forget to do your assessments after these sessions, and change your name on with the 3 little dots in the right-hand corner. Last but not least, please check out the silent auction. We're featuring one fall waterfall watercolor from our fabulous Lori Cordaro, who has donated this watercolor. And this is kind of so last but not least, mute your mics if you're not, if you come on, so that we can make sure to hear everyone. Thank you again. I can't say that enough.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. As we've just heard from Irma and Amy, welcome to our first virtual conference. I will not say this may be our only, so we will just say first. Thank you for coming. We are glad to have you virtually. It looks like everybody can see. I wanted to start off with, we typically start off with our slides. Oh, I have to move you guys over so I can see the slides. I just wanted to sort of start us off with the AOTA Vision 2025, and that is that we are an inclusive profession of that we maximize health, well-being, and the quality of life for not only all people, but populations and communities through effective solutions that facilitate participation, everyday living. I'll slow down. And I put the GOTA mission and vision up there for you guys. And our vision for GOTA is to be the primary advocacy organization for Georgian concerns regarding occupational therapy. And we exist to serve as a resource for not just our members, but consumers, practitioners, and policymakers related to the practice of occupational therapy in the state of Georgia. Okay, I'm trying to watch time. This is our agenda for the evening. So we had a call to order. And I am going to rely on Stephanie and Tanya to help out with the parliamentary procedures. I believe that a motion to approve the agenda might be in order.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second. Seconds. Well, thank you, Barb.
Thank you. And I believe, Tanya, so we had the approval of the agenda. The approval of the minutes from the last meeting, I believe those are actually on the website. Now would be, do we need to have a motion, I believe, to approve the minutes?
Yeah, so we would just need to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
We actually should have voted on approving the agenda, Jen.
Oh, thank you, Barb.
You're welcome. I think you could do without objection.
Does everybody approve of approving the agenda? If there are any nays, please let us know. Hearing none, we'll move to approval of the minutes. Did we have a motion to approve the minutes?
A motion.
Thank you, Stephanie. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Anita. Is there any discussion? Yay? Are there any nays? Hearing none, I think that those are approved. And feel free to let me know if we need to, we're not following parliamentary rules and procedures. I only have 2 screens pulled up, so Robert's rules is not right beside me. I think we will go to the next slide. So as far as the president's report, like, how do I put, it has been quite a year. I thought about what kind of pictures could we put up, and I was like, just stay on task. Okay, just stay on task and get us through. And it has been quite a year. And just with the segue, with me coming in partway and 6 weeks later, the COVID pandemic hitting, and I really just viewed my short role as sort of the interim president to just sort of guide us through this. And then COVID hit, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot to do. So we have done a lot. I am not going to go into all this because I want you to hear from the people who actually did this and conceived it and pulled it off. I just happened to be along on the meetings. So I did want to give a shout out to the legislative day. Eileen, 110 people. It was literally standing room only. I don't even know that we had sitting and standing room only in that room. It was incredible, and that was a lot of work, and you're going to hear more about that later. So 110 participants. I don't know that we've ever had more than that, and I've been involved in for 20 years. So I think that was our largest turnout ever. And I tried to do this in sort of the way that it's occurred through the calendar. So we had legislative day, and then looking at the budget, and that was sort of happening as I was transitioning, we realized that we needed to shift to greater membership responsibility for managing and running the operations of GOTA to save a little bit of money. And so we did do that. And thank you for people who have been helping answer the phone. I am so sorry for those of you who called initially. The phone is on my cell phone and it doesn't have a different ringtone. So if I said hi instead of welcome, thank you for calling GOTA, I'm so sorry, but we're still ironing that all out. So then COVID hit, and GOTA had numerous responses to those, and you will hear from people further on down in the program. Fortuitously, Irma, thank you, in November said, I think we need a telehealth committee or a telehealth task force, and one was formed. I don't know that and we added people in March and April, but that was rather fortuitous, so thank you for that, Irma. So that was already up and running. And the task force had a town hall meeting Along with all of this, the membership, I don't know if you guys know, but GOTA has a YouTube channel and it is awesome. And so the membership team also, they have videos where it's just OT speaking about COVID, and they're really, really great videos. So I encourage you to check those out. And that's the field report. And virtual meetings. So I think maybe the Atlanta region prior to COVID, we had some virtual meetings, but then we're all sort of getting up and running. And I think the next thing we may want to look to do is to get our own Zoom so that all of the regions could have access to that. So that's definitely something that we'll be doing prior to the November meeting. Conference. So the conference planning actually started last year, and then March came and happened, and they made really just the best decision to go ahead and put this online. The amount of work, I don't know that I really understand the amount of work that has gone into putting on this virtual conference. I will tell you, the state association presidents have had meetings because everyone was sort of thrown into this. How will we do conference this year? And so people would sort of have planning and strategizing meetings from different states. Georgia has been ahead of the game this whole time. And I can't thank Kristen and Irma and Amy enough for attending some of those meetings. And we would get I would get emails later from other states saying, wow, you guys just really have this down. And thank you for that. Membership, then after we made the move to put conference online, the membership committee came up with the GOTA response to racial discrimination and violence. And that was a really well-crafted and expressed, I know what I was feeling and what GOTA was feeling as well. As a result of that, an ad hoc committee was formed, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee was formed, and we will hear from them a little while later. Communications, the website is really beautiful. The Cafe Press Store, have you seen it? Great stuff. I have my eye on some of those mugs and tote bags. So tons of stuff that they have done. The website is easy to navigate, regular quarterly newsletters with the member spotlight. I really think that's a really nice piece. And then sort of the one thing that we're working on now that will follow through for at least another year, possibly two, is the Interstate Licensure Compact. And I know I spoke about that in the last newsletter, but AOTA and NBCOT are collaborating to support the development of an interstate licensure compact for occupational therapy, and that would be to address licensure portability. And so there was a draft language that was drafted, and there were meetings in June and July for stakeholders, and that would be the state presidents were invited to that, and a representative from each state licensing board. And so now we are going into meetings. AOTA has asked that 10 states commit to put forth legislation next year. There's a 5-year rollout, and they would like for 10 states to offer to sort of go first to volunteers tribute. And in speaking with individuals at our last board meeting, GOTA has volunteered as tribute. So do I do the sign? Right. So we will be doing that. And one of the reasons AOTA approached us is that there are 9 other professions in Georgia that have licensure portability and already have compact language. So this isn't anything that Georgia lawmakers are not used to. So fingers crossed, you'll hear more about this to come. Okay, and now, we've had a little bit of a shift from treasurers. Stephanie Johnson was our treasurer, and then she stepped up as vice president, and she sort of served a dual role until, I guess, the last month or last 6 weeks, and Elizabeth Birch was appointed. So we'll be hearing from them. Just so you know, there was a little bit of a transition.
Yeah, and I'm just going to introduce Elizabeth just really quickly to the role and just to everybody, just to give you a little bit of background. She graduated from the University of North Georgia with a Bachelor's of Science degree in 2011, and she completed her master's from Brunel in 2014 and her post-professional doctorate in 2018. And she currently her professional experience consists of working in an acute care setting. So thank you, Elizabeth, for agreeing to serve in the role as treasurer for GOTA, and welcome to the board, and welcome to is this your first conference as a member of the executive board, I think? Is that correct? If she's here. I know she's here. I saw her name.
Here. It's her first, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, okay. So just to kind of recap a little bit of what Jennifer was talking about as far as the budget. So in 2019, towards the end of the year, we met and we really wanted to strive towards having a balanced budget. So we made some big shifts, including, like Jennifer had mentioned, increasing board responsibility. So really a shift away from our management office services and, having members step up to carry more of the load. We had goals that were very worthy to have an increase in CEU courses that could hopefully bring in more revenue. Our goal was to really pump up conference attendance and play around with the costs for that, and hopefully be able to have more revenue versus expenses, and just really try to be frugal with that process, but then also to increase our membership. And then the pandemic hit. And so while some of these have happened, so the shift to the board responsibility, and we do still have our management services, but just the board is much more responsible at this point. And by the board being more responsible, we were able to cut some of our cost from a budget perspective. And with COVID, everything, has kind of shifted. And so we haven't had the CEs that we wanted. We haven't, the conference, that's still to be determined as far as the revenue to bring in there. We still do have our lobbyists that really helps us to make sure that we are represented. And then we still do have our accounting services, and we also still have our management office as well. There's questions coming in, and I'm going to try to answer some of those as they're coming in. And so if you see me pausing and looking down, that's what's going on. And I'll get to some of those in here in just a second. So when we think about our main income for GOTA, especially our conference is going to be one of our main incomes. And so we're hoping to, bring in a good bit of revenue for that, even though it's still virtual this year. And then our membership. And then, again, we had hoped and had dreams for CEUs, which I feel like we've all had dreams in 2020, and then they've been just completely demolished at times. So I think we're still, going strong with things. And then when we think about our main expenses, so our lobbyist, our management office, our member clicks, and kind of just general office expenses, and then our accountant. And those are our main expenses. So when we think about all of that, year to date, the numbers that we are talking about, January through July, our total expenses have been right around $38,000, with our total income around 19. So we are at a net loss currently. Now we don't have conference in there, the revenue, and we've still got the rest of the year, and maybe we can try to do some virtual CEs. And we do have some reserves that we also, if we have to go in, that we could, but we really try to not, and that's why we'd work towards having a balanced budget. And we did until COVID hit, and but we're working on track, and we've got some really great ideas to really just kind of promote getting back on track for being in the profit versus in the loss. And let me pull up some of these questions just really quick. So I think somebody asked, Barbara asked what the board took on. So we took on more the role of just the everyday management, you know, the emails, the calls, really just a shift to where the day-to-day functioning, the members were going to be much more involved. And then the management office, we still wanted them there and to be able to help us navigate, and especially for conference. And so that's where we really rely on that. But then, you know, just some of the routine day-to-day, we are really trying to really become, you know, more efficient at that whole process. And then let's see, the accountant is, why is the accountant 3,000? And I do think that's, yeah, it's 20. Yeah, so the accountant really keeps us at check. None of us are CPAs. Yeah, it's $250 a month. So does that equates to, how much is that over the course of a year? Did I do my math wrong?
No, you're good.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so when we think about that, you know, as treasurer, I know I didn't have a CPA background, and neither did, I don't think Elizabeth does, in past treasurers. So he really helps us to dot all of our T's, cross all of our I's. They manage the checking, they cut all the checks, and basically maintain all the books. So the skills to keep us, you know, very legally, fiscally responsible, that is what our accountant really does. And our taxes, which is a big portion. So, all right. That's it for treasurer. Any other questions? Let's see, who did the financial management for? And so we've kept the same, so we've always had the CPA. Is that what you're asking about, Deborah?
No, I unmuted myself. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
Essentially, I was just wondering if Tiffany did the cutting of the checks and things like that before, like who was managing the books?
No, so Tiffany, I don't think she's ever done that. So we've always had, we've always had a CPA, I thought.
Always, I mean, that I've known of.
Well, it used to be that our management company did that for us, and it was part of the whole fee. So they kept the checks, and they wrote the checks, and they, you know, sent them out when needed. I mean, how many checks are we writing every month?
I mean, it's a good bit, and it's not just the checks, but so hold on one second. So actually, when we transitioned away from that management company, it actually, and went to the CPA, it actually ended up saving GOTA money. And so it was actually a little bit more fiscally responsible. But I know the taxes are one of the big things. And as far as the number of checks a month, you know, when I'm trying to think, I would say between 5 and 10 in any given month that are coming through. But it's definitely beyond a skill set that I think that any of us have at this point to really manage and be responsible. And it is cheaper. And like he also processes all of the credit card transactions and records all of that. So it ended up saving us money in the long run and immediately, because it's cheaper than the previous management company.
Okay, I understand, and I appreciate that. Did y'all ever do an RFP or anything to see if you could get a lower cost for that, or did you just pick someone?
No, we did this is Irma. Mary did Mary Shotwell did an RFP back at I think it was 2016.
Okay,
So
we just might.
We can do another if the board brings it up.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because we're kind of in the hole right now, it might be a cost savings in some way. But I do appreciate that we have someone who knows what they're doing. So I'm not trying to be argumentative or anything. That just sounded like a lot of money to me. But I understand that that's a lot of work, and we need somebody who's knowledgeable. So I agree with that.
Yeah, you know, and if you have anybody that you do recommend or you want us to look into, I mean, we don't have to go with any particular person. So, that's always a possibility that we could kind of brainstorm that. I'm open for whatever, and I'm sure other people would be as well. So, but we do just need to make sure that, because we are a nonprofit, that they understand that whole process. But yeah, if anybody's got recommendations for somebody who may be a little bit cheaper, then definitely let's look in that. And yes, technically right now we are in the hole, but once we get the revenue in from conference, and we're constantly kind of managing and looking at the numbers and doing number crunching, and our current CPA, he does help us in that process, and just kind of gives us some ideas. But hopefully we will be in a better place than we at the end of the year. And I think we will be. I think we'll definitely be in a better place. I think we just all have to kind of get through 2020 right now. Can 2021 get here any faster?
Thank you so much.
Anita, we want to make sure that we keep in mind that the hospitals have lost money.
Right.
So the little money that we lost, just remember on the bigger rim, hospitals have lost money because of COVID. So I think overall we're doing an excellent job. My only concern is that if we start getting bids in for accountants, please let us get 3 bids and the best bid with the qualifications. But remember, COVID changed everyone's world.
It did. Yeah, I appreciate those comments, because it definitely did. So I think nonprofits are really just kind of all really being hit hard right now too.
And we will, there is a board meeting in November, and then there will be one in January also, and the dates and the links will be on, so all the members can attend, and we would have more time then to discuss some of those things. But thank you for your questions. Now we're moving on to the GOTA region reports, and I can only see 4 people right here, so I am not sure who is on. If Pam, if you are on, this is where it starts to feel like a seance. Pam, if you're here. Okay. Do I have any of our regions that are here and can maybe just speak for a minute?
Yeah, I can.
Kyle, take it away. Thank you.
Hey everybody. We've been able to successfully host our region meetings via Zoom. Special thanks to Kristen and Kelsey. We've had some great topics. I think we did field work amongst COVID, mindfulness, diversity and inclusion. So we will continue hosting our monthly meetings via Zoom until further notice. So if anybody has any topics they'd like to hear or would love to speak at a Zoom meeting, feel free to email me and we can set something up.
Thank you, Kyle. Did I hear Ben earlier?
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
I can hear you. Take
Awesome.
it away.
So North Georgia, North District, we were able to hold a meeting in April looking over the alert program across the lifespan. We're looking to meet this month, around the 26th, to look over what the ins and outs of becoming a now comp provider, waiver provider. We are looking to continue to strengthen our ties. This year, we've really been working alongside the Circle of Hope group in Cherokee. They're looking to build a multi-generational community. Around 250 acres were just recently donated to them. They're looking to build housing for adults, young adults with DD/ID, and they're saying older adults who don't necessarily want to go and live in an assisted living and want to be a little bit more independent. So we've been kind of getting involved with them, looking and talking about universal design and seeing where OT can be involved. We've actually, I was able to take a Brunel student to their latest meeting, and we're looking at maybe trying to get students involved too, and kind of seeing that population. So that's one of the big things we've been working on too. And we're looking at late November, potentially holding a networking / telehealth strategies meeting where anyone who wants to join can kind of exchange ideas on what's worked, what hasn't worked for them over the telehealth medium as a new setting, since we're all kind of learning that in this new COVID environment. So that's what the North Region's been up to.
Thank you so much, Ben. Pam, Katie, or I believe Betsy had emailed a few days ago that she was may not be able to attend.
Jennifer, this is Lauren. I work with Betsy, so I can do Middle Georgia region. I'm texting with her right now. Betsy is working on getting well and hopefully back to work soon. But for Middle Georgia region, we're excited that we have 100% student participation for GOTA, and we're trying to really get our students involved with at least the journal club and going onto the YouTube channel and using that resource, especially as we teach some of these skills in class. And right now we're really working hard on trying to drum up some fieldwork sites for all of our students, because I think that's a statewide issue that everybody's encountering. So anybody who wants to take students, I speak from, I think, everybody who is trying to place students right now. But we're really trying to push our Middle Georgia region to do that for our OTA students.
Cool. Thank you so much, Lauren. It was Lauren and Betsy. Thank you.
And Jennifer, this is Lori Cordaro for the East Region. Howdy. Pam sent out an email to the East Region saying that they're going to have a WebEx meeting on November 10th. The business meeting will start at 6:30 and the presentation by Valerie Chapman will be at 7 o'clock, and it will be on conquering the fieldwork experience assessment tool and don't admit defeat, har har. And so it'll just help clear up some of the questions between the clinicians and students when they fill out the FEAT form. So that's our report.
Thank you so much, Lori.
You're welcome.
Katie. And people may have emailed them to me, and I've been doing this, so I've not been able to monitor both of those. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. And we now have committee reports. And we have the membership committee, and I believe Kristen or Kelsey, were you?
Yeah.
Who's going to speak for you guys?
So I want to start out by just saying a big thank you to my committee. We accomplished a lot, as Jennifer mentioned, throughout this year, and I couldn't have done it without Kelsey Reeves, Lauren Gray, Adriana Smiley, and Lauren Barron. And when we review the membership numbers, we have 4 associate, OT at 196, OTA at 23. We have 4 organizational memberships currently. Our student membership is at 231, and we have a total of 465. If you do the math, it doesn't add up perfectly because we have 7 membership numbers that are included in that total that are actually admin accounts. So that way we can go on the backside of the website and do what we need to. The membership committee will be introducing 2 motions as part of our new business later on in this meeting. And these motions were sent to voting executive board members prior to today's meeting. The first motion was submitted following a proposal from the legislative and regulation chair and the Tri-Alliance liaison. And it's really meant to update our membership levels to accommodate a new group, so looking to increase revenue. And then the second motion is in response to the current COVID-19 pandemic and the need to continue and conduct business in this rapidly changing environment. Regarding the YouTube channel, I just want to highlight that to date we've had 3,800 views. We have created 66 total videos, 30 of which are public. The other videos are actually membership only, so people have to have logged into our the GAOTA.com website to view them, and then to head to the YouTube tab to view them. I want to mention the amazing COVID-19 response videos that we've had up, and if anyone has any other videos that they'd like to do specific to COVID, to please reach out to us. And then Kelsey Reeves has actually done a great job launching Journal Club, and we've had an amazing response from that. I would just really encourage you to check out the YouTube channel if you have not done so yet. And finally, as was mentioned before, we actually have Kelsey taking over for me. She started taking over in the beginning of October and has really been doing a great job and will continue in that role moving forward.
Thank you so much. And moving on to the communication, and that will be Kristen as well. Thank you.
Of course. And so again, nothing can be really completed without having great committee members. And my committee members for Communication Committee are both Marissa Marecki and Margaret Corcoran. This committee helps maintain the website. And one of the goals for this year was to increase accessibility. So we've really been working to include alternative text and other accessibility guidelines for our website, which is an act of love as we go back and kind of try to get everything that's been archived. We're attempting to do more frequent updates to the website. And as was mentioned before, we launched a GOTA online store through Cafe Press. And this is just a couple of the products that we currently have. There are many more. And if you have an idea for other products, please reach out. We do welcome any designs that general members would like to do or committees that exist. So if North Region wanted to do a special t-shirt and collaborate with another group, we're happy to look at those types of things and move forward with that. We've looked at beefing up the newsletter throughout this last couple of years. I want to highlight the Clinician's Corner. The research update that's done by Marissa Marecki has had so many, I've had so many people reach out to me saying how much they like it. It's really comprehensive. She summarizes all of the research that she's looked up and provides URLs to all of them. In addition to that, she also does, as part of the research update on YouTube, she actually highlights one of the open source assessments and outcome measures on the YouTube channel to increase people's awareness regarding measures. And then finally, Ethics Edge has done a great job of addressing real-time issues, and especially the ones that are happening in current events. Marissa Marecki is stepping into the role as Communication Committee Chair, and her and Kelsey Reeves will work closely in the upcoming months and years to continue on with those things. One of the questions that was put in the chat box is, I wonder if OT and OTA students could partner with GOTA to sell items on the GOTA online store and share the profits. But that is something that we will have to look into, because currently the online store does pull into one account. So that's something that we will have to look at with all of those wonderful individuals from our board and admin assistant, everyone else, but that's a great idea. We actually heard from one of the ASAP meetings that I was at with Jennifer that other individuals that other states that have the Cafe Press page, one of the hottest selling t-shirts they have is actually one where it's the state logo with all the different schools on it. So we are, considering all of those things moving forward. We're just taking small steps at a time. So that is it for the updates from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Regulatory and reimbursement. I know I saw Eileen earlier.
I'm here.
Hey.
Hi.
And Tom's here also.
Oh, thank you so much.
My partner in crime is here as well.
Thank you. And I know you guys actually next week have a whole entire session on this, but I did just want quickly for you guys just to highlight a few things.
And we would love for everybody to be at the OT Licensure and Regulation Committee. I think it's October 14th at 7 p.m. So this is sort of like just a summary of the busy year that Tom and I have had. And there's always something, there's always some fire to kill. But we wanted to talk, we're going to be talking at that next week about how the copay legislation bill has, I guess has, it's passed, right? And then items about, the recreational therapist bill that did not pass. We're going to talk about ACA and Medicaid expansion, and ABA and autism services. However, what has really taken a lot of our time was the telehealth issue. And I just really wanted to give a shout out to Tom Bauer, our lobbyist, and Irma Alvarado, Jennifer Allison, and also Melissa Toporek, who has helped us with a GOTA telehealth survey, which has been really well received. So we're going to talk about that next week as well. And Tom, you're also going to mention about the interstate licensure compact?
Yes. As Jennifer mentioned, I think we were planning on moving forward with that. I'm surprised. I didn't realize that 9. I think Jennifer, you said that the national office said that 9 different professions have the interstate compact. That sounds a little high to me, but it might be right. One thing of interest was that the speech therapists had a bill that passed this year to do this interstate compact, and the governor vetoed it. So we're sort of trying to scout out a little bit to see if that was what was behind that, because I know that they were very surprised, and it might be as simple as the fact that the sponsor was not from the majority party. I don't want to be quoted on that publicly, and don't want it in the minutes, but we'll be checking into that. Yeah, so we'll be covering all that next week. And Jennifer, I knew that there was something. I passed this slide along to Eileen, and I knew I'd forgotten something, and that was OT Day at the Capitol. Yeah, that was rather overwhelming. I was excited. That was good news and bad news. It was good news to see that many people. It was bad news to try to manage it all. But
yeah.
Hopefully we will continue to have that enthusiasm. So
thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Yes, usually we have a room for about 30 or 40 people and trying to fit 110. Yes. Thank you guys.
And with COVID, I don't know how we're going to do it. So stay tuned about how we're going to.
Eileen, that's a good point. If things continue on into the new year, I would not at all be surprised if the General Assembly they're probably not going to be allowing days like that. So
I do want to say, and I do want to let them, let the membership know that OT advocacy doesn't just start and end on legislative day. I feel like us as OTs, it's part of our civic duty to let our legislators know that we are their constituents, and that I feel like the grassroots advocacy that we have done in the past years, where we email or write a letter to our legislators and just let them know that you are an OT practicing in their district, and that you'd like to know, there are November is coming up. I'm sure that a lot we can use this opportunity to kind of market or raise awareness of OT with the candidates, incumbents or incoming. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Thanks, Eileen. Eileen, did you also want to pick a few things on the task force and do that as well?
Yes. So regarding the GOTA Telehealth Task Force, we collaborated with the Tri-Alliance, which are member liaisons from GOTA, Physical Therapy Association of Georgia, and then the Georgia Speech and Hearing Association, to advocate for telehealth coverage for OT services. This was during the COVID-19 public health emergency. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, we conducted a town hall and information drive to inform our members of telehealth updates. We also conducted a survey of telehealth OT recipients in Georgia to determine benefits of telehealth. And the information that we gathered from, I think, 305 respondents was forwarded and was consumed and reviewed not only by GOTA members, but stakeholders, other stakeholders such as DCH, And then it was also forwarded to AOTA as well as the Department of Health and Human Services. So we are, like I said, Georgia has been in the forefront of leading, well, we've been leading the charge for telehealth, and I'm really grateful to the members of the task force, Irma and Melissa, for really pushing for this. We have also shared these results with neighboring state associations. So we have been meeting with the South Carolina and North Carolina State OT Association, because they are also doing their own telehealth survey. So they've used it as a model, and I just wanted to let the membership know that it has been really helpful. The public health emergency has been extended until November 9, so CIS providers can still provide OT and PT via telehealth, and we're working for permanence.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Eileen. I am not able to monitor the chat while I'm doing this. We do have a section later for discussion, so perhaps if we could save some of that for then. And we actually only have 6 more minutes slotted, but I know we are unopposed, so I think we may need to go until 8:15 or 8:30. So I may need to go past some of the slides, but I'm going to try to keep us somewhat on time. And some of our tech people, let me know if that's an issue, like if we're going to get cut off in 6 minutes or not.
That's it for us, though.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It has been a big year for you guys, so I appreciate it. Acuity, I am going to have Adrienne, if you would speak to that and the name, and I saw you on here earlier, Adrienne.
Yes, I'm on. Can you guys hear me?
And if you could introduce yourself too, that would be great.
Okay, well, hello everyone. My name is Adrienne. I've been an occupational therapist for about 5 years now. I graduated from the University of Alabama at Birmingham in 2015 with my master's, and then I completed the post-professional doctorate at the University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences. And I'm still there now, actually, as a Doctor of Education student working on my dissertation. Currently, I work in home health in the metro area of Atlanta for Guardian Home Health Care, the College Park branch. And then I also do some part-time work in a nursing home in Decatur. So tonight, I'm talking about Georgia's Acuity. And as you can see, it stands for the Occupational Therapy Community Coalition for Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity. Earlier this year, I was selected to serve on AOTA's National Diversity and Inclusion Task Force, and I'm actually serving as the task force lead. And so this task force is really developed in keeping with AOTA's mission to be an inclusive profession and to help AOTA embrace inclusion all throughout the association. Wise in Georgia, Jennifer reached out to me earlier this year, I think in June or July, and talked about how beneficial something like this streamlined into GOTA. So we developed the Acuity Committee. Rebecca, Kyle, Irma, and I believe Sarah are also, and Brian are also on the committee now. And so at this point, we're in a very, very preliminary stage of just forming and organizing. And I'll just be honest, there is such a vast task to take on diversity and inclusion. So we really need as much insight, recommendations, and support as possible. As of right now, we don't have really anything formal, just our mission, as you can see it outlined above, and that's really just supporting inclusion in the work and really just in our professional leadership. So there is a motion now to make this committee a standing committee, so that way even now and beyond, inclusion will always be something that is considered. And I think that's really all. I think we're going to try to push for a meeting to get everybody together in maybe November. And I mean, I don't want anybody to be intimidated by it. I don't think it's anything super formal that would take a lot of time, but we just want to strategize and talk about how we can improve diversity and inclusion within GOTA. And then I plan on also being very candid and open about what we're doing at AOTA as well for the diversity Equity and Inclusion Task Force. So that way everybody knows kind of what AOTA is doing and how we can mimic that in the state. And so, that's pretty much all I have. And of course, the motion to make this committee a committee.
Thank you so much. And we have a section for motions a little later in the agenda. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Okay, thank you.
And Helene, I saw you earlier.
Only thing to report is that the RA has a very new process now for handling requests for actions, what people used to call motions. October 5th, so I guess that was 2 days ago, they had the deadline for any new requests. 3 came in, and then the report I have there in like the next to last bullet. I actually haven't seen the summary report yet. I know that there are some things that are still being discussed in task groups, and they haven't come for a vote yet before the RA, but every time I get some information from them, I'm going to try to post it through the listserv.
Thank you so much, Helene. The next slide, I think we may end up coming back to because I thought we were having some tech issues. So someone remind me to come back to this one. Old business, so this would conclude the old business portion of the agenda. Do we have further discussion before we go into the new business? Okay, hearing none, we will keep going. New business. Oh, did I hear somebody? Election results, Kristen Weber was elected president-elect in GOTA. We have a president-elect position that is a 6-month position, and that would begin in January. And Jade Gross won for secretary, and that would begin January 1st as well. So yay, thank you so much. And we welcome having you guys have some different roles. The motions, and if the people who, Kristen, maybe if you would review just quickly 1 and 2, and then Adrian.
Sure. So motion 1, I kind of alluded to earlier. It's a new GOTA membership level called Community Partner Membership, which would be $100 annual membership due. The membership includes access to the membership only side of the website, Tri-Alliance membership page, and the ability to opt in to listserv with the Tri-Alliance information. This motion was originally put forth by our legislative chair and our Tri-Alliance representative, and we're really looking to capture community partners and making sure that GOTA is maximizing on all collaborators as we can, and then also making sure that we're demonstrating the value of the GOTA. All voting members received more details on these motions along with a link to the original proposal that they set forth. Do we want to actually go ahead and vote on that, or is there a quorum for that?
I think if we could maybe set forth go through all of the motions and then vote for them one by one.
Okay. Motion 2 is the adoption of the GOTA for a bylaw for absentee voting on motions outside of designated board meetings via a digital format. This would include email, phone, or digital ballot. The motion that was sent to the voting members has more details, but this motion can only, or the bylaw would be explicit that the digital voting would only occur after an actual meeting has taken place. And it's really meant to address the fact that we don't have in-person meetings during this very unique time. And following in-person review of the whatever the motion would be during a meeting, the absentee voting ballot would be able to go out with further details on the discussion to allow for digital voting for people that cannot attend in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. And Adrian, I think you just spoke about it, but.
Right. So yes, motion 3 is to make Acuity a standing committee. It will be open to practitioners, students, focusing on diversity in academia, OT professional leadership.
Thank you so much, Adrian. It was going in and out a little bit. And the reason that Acuity was conceived as an ad hoc committee at first is it was the fastest way to get them up and running the way that our bylaws are stated. So otherwise they would have been made a standing at first. Okay. Do we have any discussion on motion 1? Okay. Hearing no discussion, we need to vote on the motions, and we've never had to vote virtually before. If someone, I think, let's try, I can't find the chat. If people for motion 1, if you would just type yes or no for motion 1 in, and if I could have some people monitoring that chat, I think that would be the best way to go about it right now. And this is only motion 1.
Jennifer, we have an option to vote. If you click on participants, you can click yes or no. Do you know about that feature?
No, I do not.
So if you click on the participants at the bottom, it says 51.
Okay.
You may not have it if you're the lead of this meeting, but we have it.
It is
okay.
there.
We all have it. So we can vote, and you can go down the list and see who's voted yes or no.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know that, Debbie. Oops. Okay. Oops. Sorry.
It's a green check mark with a circle.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on mine so you can see that.
Okay. I think we had already started voting the first way. So and we have 22 yes and 0 no's for the first motion. So I think it carries. For the second motion, maybe we could try it the way that Debbie just told us.
Yes, so everybody has to put their hands, has to unclick their yes to do that, because a lot of people clicked yes for the first motion. So everybody unclick yourself, and then we can go. Then you can go. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I had clear, so everybody should be good to
So
restart.
motion 2.
What was motion 2 again?
Motion 2 was to adopt into our bylaws a procedure for absentee voting when we don't have a quorum, and via digital format, because we don't have digital format language in our bylaws currently. And if somebody will, I actually can't see any of this, so if somebody will just fill me in.
You have 30 yes so far.
30 yes. Okay.
32, 33, 34.
Okay, and no no's. Okay, I think we're good on that one. Motion 3, to move Acuity from an ad hoc committee to a standing committee. If we could vote on that at this time.
You have 28 and climbing.
Any no's on any of those? Okay, no no's. Okay, no no's. Thank you so much. It looks like those motions have passed. We are moving on, and we will jump back to the PAC thing in a minute. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie Johnson, who is our vice president, to run this portion of the program.
Thanks, Jennifer. So now we're just going to do the awards and recognitions. So Jennifer, if you'll just advance the slides for me, I'd appreciate it. All right. So we're going to start with the Occupational Therapy Student of the Year. So this year's Outstanding OT Student of the Year award goes to a very bright and dedicated student. She continually produces high quality work, actively participates in class, and helps lead discussions beneficial to the entire class. She displays a passion for learning and often serves as a liaison between fellow students and faculty. She serves on several committees where she shows similar engagement and enthusiasm. In addition to her classroom and committee positions, she maintains a graduate research apprenticeship position in the Department of Occupational Therapy. Outside of school, she shows dedication by volunteering in community-based programs like Night to Shine and Shepherd Rollway. The student takes initiative and works hard towards personal growth. She aspires to be an excellent OT and without a doubt will achieve her goals. It is my honor to present this year's Outstanding OT Student of the Year to Alexis Malice. Congratulations, Alexis.
Thank you so much.
And since we're virtually, we will give you everything at a later date.
Perfect. I just wanted to thank the faculty at GSU for always supporting me, and my teacher, Dr. Buckman, for nominating me, and my teacher, Dr. Mitra, also played part in that. So thank you so much, everyone.
Congratulations again, Alexis. Okay, so the Linda Stevens Scholarship. It gives me great pleasure to announce our recipient of the Linda Stevens Scholarship. Much like Linda Stevens, this year's recipient assumed a do what needs to be done attitude by willingly going above and beyond in the name of advancing the OT profession. She demonstrated enthusiasm and passion for service by completing countless hours of community service, and when volunteering in person wasn't an option, she created a successful treat bag fundraiser for patients and staff. Additionally, this year's recipient has a passion for working with clients with neurological disorders and hopes to work with researchers to create low-cost solutions for everyday accessibility needs. She plans to work with lawmakers as well to increase insurance coverage of the equipment necessary for independence. This OT shows passion and dedication for the profession, and it is my honor to award this year's Linda Stevens Scholarship to Alexis Malice. Congratulations again, Alexis.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
Okay. All right. So the Occupational Therapy Supporter of the Year. This year's appreciation of an outstanding non-member, non-OT award goes to someone who has exhibited outstanding leadership in these uncertain times. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, this recipient quickly organized local volunteers to directly address the lack of PPE through an organization that she is the co-founder of called SMAH, Sewing Mask for Atlanta Hospitals. SMAH is made up of over 400 volunteers that spend their time and resources sewing masks for Atlanta healthcare workers. As of May, they delivered over 44,000 masks with over 11,000 requests outstanding. This individual and their organization has made a significant impact by keeping healthcare workers safe during this pandemic. You are a great reminder that one person truly can make a difference, and it is my honor and privilege to present this year's award to Kayla Hittig. Congratulations, Kayla.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jennifer, will you go to the next one? Thanks. Okay. Our next award is the Occupational Therapy Practitioner of the Year. This year's Outstanding OT Practitioner of the Year award goes to an occupational therapist who has served a phenomenal role model in our profession and community. It may likely have been enough to award this practitioner based on her numerous accomplishments like her AOTA Advanced Low Vision certification, her 3-time state conference speaking engagement, her poster presentation at AOTA conference on her work in pilot study research programs. However, what sets her apart is her rare ability to blend her personal passion with the OT profession. This year's recipient took her passion for ballet and created an innovative dance program specifically designed for children with special needs. There they work on balance, strength, coordination, social skills, and problem solving, all while having fun. She's a subject matter expert and a presenter on low vision and has been awarded several honors like Outstanding Alumni for OT at Augusta University, and even a local news affiliate awarded her the honor of a 2015 Woman to Watch award to honor women who inspire with their drive to succeed. With this and her continued advocacy in the growth and advancement of the field of occupational therapy, it is my honor to award this year's recipient to Mallory Lanier Roche. Congratulations, Mallory.
Thank you so much.
I feel like we need to be clapping virtually. We need to do snaps or something in those screens for all of these. Okay. All right. And our next is the Barbara E. Grant Award. The Barbara E. Grant Award of Merit is our highest association honor. The purpose is to honor an OT or OTA who's made an outstanding global contribution to the profession of OT service, leadership, education, and advocacy. This year's recipient displayed extraordinary leadership through unprecedented times. She not only stepped up to serve and lead our association in a time of need during this national pandemic, she worked closely with state and national leaders to ensure service models were available that allowed OTs to continue to serve clients and reimburse for services. She answered countless emails and calls to help service providers problem solve and adapt, all while continuing to excel at her busy job as a respected professor. This year's recipient is no stranger to the profession and is known throughout as a subject matter expert, particularly in the area of mental health. She's been a longtime advocate for marginalized population and an active member of NAMI. She is a published author, guest lecturer, and recipient of many awards, including one for her teaching excellence. It is my pleasure to name Jennifer Allison as this year's recipient of the Barbara E. Grant Award. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you. I hit the wrong button. Thank you.
So congratulations to everybody. We just are so proud of each and every one and everybody that was nominated. It's been a great year in many ways, and just congratulations to all.
Thank you so much. I think right now we have thank yous, and then we will head back to a message from Rochelle Dorn. So thank you to all of our sponsors, and we have subsequent slides for our vendor committees and other folks that helped, but definitely this makes it possible. So thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to those folks that helped us get these sponsors. Okay, so Amy and Irma, like, thank you for this and so much more. A conference almost every night in October. Thank you for everything that you've done to put on this conference. The Proposal Review Committee, we've got listed here Omar, Kay, Samantha, Kelsey, and Emily. Thank you for reviewing the proposals for conference. Vendor Committee, Charlie, Katie, Pam, Stephanie, Ben, Betsy, and Kyle. And Kristen, I'm sorry, it cuts off the bottom here. Membership Committee, a thanks to the membership and the communication, because they have also been very involved in conference as well. So in addition to the regular jobs. And so thank you to Kristen, who served as chair for both of those initially. And now Kelsey and Marissa are taking the lead on those, and also to their members, Lauren, Laura, Adrian, and Margaret. Thank you so much. I have all of the board members for this year, and I've listed people if you were on for part of the year or the whole year, rather than having different lists. So the folks on these next two slides, these are the members of the executive board of GOTA, and truly we could not have done handle the business of GOTA without everyone working together. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the folks who are listed here. Thank you for serving. And we do have certificates that will be mailed out next week. I also, a special thank you, Audrey. Thank you. Audrey was our RA rep for 8 years. So we are so appreciative for your many years of service. So thank you, Audrey. I thought I saw you a little while. Ah, look at that. Awesome. Thank you. And Irma, if you wouldn't mind talking about the next one, if you're still here.
I don't mind at all, because this person is so very, has been and is so very key to GOTA. Barbara Banning has, you can read the bullet points, but Barbara Banning is one person that we can all say shows up. And I just want to refer back to the other slide so you can see all your peers and all your mentors and all the OTs and OTAs who have really stepped up. And we want to say thank you. However, Barbara has always been there. She served as East Region Chair, Vice President, and President of GOTA. In 2012, won the Outstanding Practitioner of the Year award. As far as parliamentarianism, we could always count on her at board meetings to keep us in line. Her experience ranges from clinical, administrative, her volunteerism in mental health, acute, geriatric, and rehab medicine. But most of all, we want to say a special thank you to Barbara because she is our dear friend. Thank you, Barbara. We love you.
Thank you so much. I am going to go back, and unfortunately, I don't know how to do that except to click back through these. So bear with me for a moment. And somebody stop me if you see me about to click through it. Here we go. So we have a message from Dr. Rochelle Dorn, who is the AOTAPAC. She's the representative for Region 2, and Georgia is in Region 2. So I am going to move you guys to the other side of my screen and go ahead and play this message.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Rochelle Dorn, and I am the AOTAPAC Region 2 Director. Thank you so much for inviting me to present to you about AOTAPAC. So advocacy is part of the foundation of our profession, and there are 3 avenues for advocacy at the national level. The 3 avenues for advocacy are AOTAPAC, AOTA, and its various branches, including federal, regulatory, and state affairs, and of course yourselves as grassroots efforts. I'm going to focus on AOTAPAC and AOTA in that relationship. So next I'm going to talk about the AOTA 2020 congressional successes. They included Home Health, Allied Health Workforce Diversity Act, Telehealth, Outpatient Therapy Modernization and Stabilization Act, Protections for Independent Contractors, IDEA waivers, and Student Loan Relief. The American Occupational Therapy Political Action Committee, known as AOTAPAC, is a vital advocacy component. What is AOTAPAC? AOTAPAC is the political action arm of AOTA that complements AOTA's public policy agenda and supports its lobbying efforts. It is the only legal means for an organization like AOTA to raise and disperse funds to candidates for public office. By law, AOTA cannot give any financial support to a candidate running for office, and none of your AOTA membership dues can be used to support political candidates. Why is AOTA an essential component of advocacy for the occupational therapy profession? Because as you well know, OT is not well understood in the clinical arena, let alone the political arena, where policy decisions are made. OT needs to elect and retain members of Congress who are supportive to our causes. OT needs advocacy and a political presence to protect the practice of occupational therapy and clients and families' access to our services. For more information about AOTAPAC and various advocacy arms at AOTA, I have a bunch of links here as well as email information. If you are interested in supporting AOTAPAC, and I hope you are as an AOT member, please text AOTAPAC to 51555. You will receive a text with the link to make an online payment. Please click the link, log in, and make your contribution. You should receive an email confirmation. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you, and have a wonderful conference.
Thank you so much. Let me, okay. Oops.
Hello.
Okay. All right. At this point, I believe that we have finished both the old and new business for the meeting. I believe that in order to adjourn the meeting, I believe that we would need a motion for that. Am I right? I saw Barbara. She's the parliamentarian expert. You guys can tell us.
Jennifer, I'll make a motion for us to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second.
I'll second.
it, Anita.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All those in favor? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Great job, Jennifer.
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All of
Bye.
the board, y'all are impressive.